Hi James, how are you?
After watching those two episodes, a little taken back.
Ah,
That's all.
sorry. I ruin a lot of dinner parties.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but wow. Roo Powell is an award-winning writer, child advocate, and founder of SOSA, a nonprofit committed to raising awareness and combating the pervasiveness of online child sex abuse and exploitation. Rue, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, I'm well. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. As again I said before, the two episodes I saw took me back. I mean, it would really was made me nervous and scary. First of all, how did you get in? How did you get started with SOSA? Where did this come from?
So I've been a career-long writer, and a lot of my writing has been around advocacy. I worked with a tech company that was in the child safety space, and we were looking for a way to demonstrate the ubiquity of online predation. And so I started we started a team to put some decoys online. I wrote a piece about it. That piece picked up some traction, and I decided to start SOSA.
Wow. Now the episodes I saw, you had the three different ones. So you had Mitch, you had Duke, and we'll talk about Kevin in a minute. But you had Mitch and you had Duke. These guys, one guy was like just getting started, but again, he worked in the school system, and the other guy was a celebrity. So these are all different personalities and men, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is what is shocking to people, that we kind of assume that the bad guy is always a scary looking character out of a movie somewhere, when really a lot of these people are just normal everyday people that work in schools or do my taxes or they're grocery shopping next to you. And I think that is maybe the uneasy part, that it's kind of just anyone.
Speaking of just anyone, let's talk a little bit more about Kevin.
Ah.
That was the one that was just whoa.
Yeah, Kevin was really difficult to Kevin was difficult. He was definitely our white whale. I endured many more conversations than you saw in the show. And yeah, I think it's really indicative of how intense and how aggressive a lot of perpetrators are online.
With all this going on, why isn't there something in our educational system, especially in our middle school system, that kind of gets these kids prepared for something like that?
I think the issue is that this is relatively new. This is kind of uncharted waters. You and I didn't have smartphones in our hands when we were kids, and that's the difference for this generation. I think the biggest issue is people just aren't aware of what can happen online and how much it happens and how frequently it happens. So I think, part of what SOSA does is I talk to high schoolers, I talk to middle schoolers, I talk with parents and caregivers and teachers, because I think the best way to combat this is to empower a society to really tackle this together. And that includes awareness and education, so we can support our kids as they deal with this brave new world.
I wish a lot of parents could see the episodes that I saw. That was pretty scary to me. I'm going to ask the question. You've got several episodes coming up, but I guess I don't want to spoil it. I don't. Did you ever get the white whale?
You will have to get through the end of the episodes, I'm afraid. The truth is that I am not law enforcement. I am not a prosecutor. I am not an attorney or a judge or, jury. My role ends when we hand that information over, and there is due process that needs to be done, and it's not the onus isn't on me to, make sure that there's an investigation happening. There's lots of stuff that happens that I'm not privy to simply because I'm not law enforcement. And we kind of have to trust the process. I think part of the issue with a lot of these cases and a lot of cases that happen online is that so many of these internet crimes against children task forces are woefully under-resourced. Internet crimes, it's a huge issue. It's a growing problem, and they're in need of support, I believe.
You know, Rue, you remind me of being a Spider Woman, actually weaving the web, catching the bad guy, and leaving them for the cops to take care of. That's who I see you as. You are Spider Woman. Rue, thank you so much for joining me on Morning Blend. Yes, that's your new name. You're the Spider Woman, undercover Spider Woman.
I'll
That's
add
who
it to
you
my
are.
Twitter bio.
Ruth, thank you so much for joining us on Morning Blend. Definitely going to look at Discovery Plus Undercover Underage.